Groovy.
Oh, groovy laughed far out.
Sympathetic.
When a friend is in tears, we are sympathetic.
Journalism.
He moved to the States 5 years ago to study journalism.
Citizenship.
Mr. Chow is an Australian citizen, and Mr. Huang has applied for citizenship.
Emotion.
Anger is an ugly emotion.
Immune.
A new disease. No one's immune.
Inherit.
My father died when I was 13 and I inherited this money.
Notion.
My cook does not have a notion of time.
Corruption.
We found evidence of corruption.
Profess.
You gonna profess your innocence now?
I am innocent.
Boundary.
Try to see the world as one, without boundaries or frontiers.
Precaution.
I've taken extra precautions to keep him safe.
Inner.
Balance is controlled by your inner ear.
Grim.
I'd like to know what's behind that grim look on your face.
Eliminate.
But today, technology and automation are eliminating many jobs.
Haul.
They began hauling people out of the water.
Conscious.
Scarlet, suddenly conscious of her error in speech, went red.
Awaken.
He gave him a kick to awaken him.
Transcend.
Tetris. It transcends age, culture, and language.
Insecurity. Can I tell the person I love the most my deepest insecurities?
Rescue.
He was half dead when we rescued him.
Contrast.
What a contrast between him and his friend.
Core.
And can you guess what we do with the apple cores?
Rarely.
Victoria was very healthy and was rarely ill.
Leopard.
And you know what? Leopards are faster than lions.
Protest.
The police can't do anything. It's a peaceful protest.
Gulf.
An oil well exploded in the Gulf of Mexico.
Cosmology.
The field of cosmology was born, the study of the cosmos itself.
Disqualify.
Under international rules, you are disqualified.
Disintegrate.
The Rockies are no longer rising, but slowly disintegrating.
Visual.
I'm a visual thinker. I see my thoughts.
Properly.
Please give them a chance to behave properly.
Contract.
Sign the contract now, Walter.
Erroneous.
So it is possible for erroneous information to spread quickly.
Urban.
30 years ago, just 1 in 5 people lived in urban areas.
Submerge.
Some towns submerged in floodwaters.
Miserable.
I'm crying because I'm miserable.
Witness.
Apparently this witness saw the whole thing.
Soda.
It's 2 o'clock and you've already had 3 scotch and sodas.
Offspring.
Each of the offspring inherits a random mix of the parent's genes.
Minor.
Good news. Callan's injuries are minor.
Formulate.
I'm formulating a plan.
Formulate it faster.
Exemplify.
The gig economy exemplified by Uber drivers is mushrooming.
Bizarre.
Fire coming out of ice is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen.
Vocation.
That was Steve's job, his vocation.
Moisture.
All deserts are characterized by a lack of moisture.
Practically.
You don't have to be nervous. You see me practically every day.
Beloved.
A husband died to protect his beloved wife.
Enroll.
I enrolled in a couple of college classes.
Compensate.
Nothing can compensate for the loss of time.
Consciousness.
In panic situations, I'd often lose consciousness.
Arrogant.
Cassiopeia was proud and arrogant.
Literally.
Karma is what you do. The word literally means deed or action.
Inquire.
Which way do you go? I inquired.
Deserve.
Luke, these women deserve our respect.
Unsympathetic.
Look, I'm not unsympathetic to your plight.
Accompany.
I accompany you to Floyd's wedding.
Critical.
I know Mom can be so critical of your driving.
Generator.
Guess where the world's largest wind generator is?
Specify.
All he said was tomorrow. He didn't specify morning.
Muscular.
So what are the various types of muscular tissue?
Repetition.
Oh, great. Well, the key to acquiring proficiency in any task is repetition.
Colonize.
In 1870, only 10% of Africa was colonized.
Exotic.
He went to all kinds of exotic places for the best ingredients.
Myth.
I deal with facts, Miss Granger, not myths and legends.
Orientation.
Our school has an orientation towards practical skills.
Acute.
The problem is acute in California.
Irate.
For instance, maybe we had a rather irate parent who often raised their voice.
Qualify.
What qualifies you to attempt to understand my mind?
Disturb.
He's asleep at the moment, and I won't disturb him.
Sin.
My father committed a great sin.
Religion.
Science is facts. Religion is faith.
Unnecessary.
But do not waste your time on this extra task. It is unnecessary.
Precision.
It adds precision to detecting cancer.
Zealot.
He's a zealot who thinks that a good demonstration has to end with riots and arrests.
Realization.
I woke up one day and had a realization.
Contact.
I have no contact with my father, she said.
Mow.
Mr. Brown had to mow the lawn twice a week.
Victim.
We found his DNA on a murder victim.
Terrify.
Marriage terrifies me.
Artwork.
In the case of artwork, the history is special indeed.
Counterpart.
But President Obama is not expected to meet with his Russian counterpart.
Intellect.
Or maybe they'll recognize my intellect and make me their leader.
Laser.
Preparing to fire laser at the moon.
Ultimately.
Ultimately, it's her decision.
Terrorism.
Terrorists justify terrorism, then.
Unoccupied.
I live directly opposite and have known this house to be long unoccupied.
Accelerate.
This is taking too long. We need to accelerate the plan.
Privately.
I need to speak to you privately.
Preclude.
My love for science doesn't preclude my faith.
Distraction.
And one of the biggest distractions is social media.
Toothpaste.
Who's squeezing the toothpaste tube from the middle?
Summon.
If I want you here, I will summon you.
Constitute.
The tissues of the body constitute the organ.
Successive.
He had been away for a very long period, over 2 successive years.
Authoritative.
His tone is stern, authoritative.
Diversion.
I did not know about the diversion of funds.
Shield.
Tyrion lifted his shield and hid beneath it.
Exclusion.
We will concentrate on this to the exclusion of all other research.
Disguise.
He's disguised as a wizard.